This is Otaku No Video, episode 36, Macross Frontier Part 2. So, it is time for Part 2 of Macross Frontier, which I must admit I am thoroughly enjoying. We'll start, I guess, with episode 6, just move all the way through. This is the, basically, episode 6 and 7 are essentially a two-parter dealing with some wonderful big space opera, epic space opera stuff. And this was something I was really glad to see. I mean, the first 5 episodes have been, I don't want to say self-contained, but there hasn't been much of the huge galaxy-spanning adventure that we typically get from like original Macross or even 7. And so it was nice to see a big space fight in these episodes.
Yeah, I don't know that I like the idea of there being a whole bunch of ships together so much as just like, there's one ship.
You mean for the bad guys or for the Frontier?
For the Frontier.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has this sort of Battlestar Galactica vibe, where there's one ship with a bunch of support vehicles, and that's it. And there are things like the galaxy, around, but it sounds like a couple of weeks away, typically.
Yeah.
Which is, it's fine, and it gives you sort of that whole modern day feel where things take a little while to get here and there. But I'm hoping they actually do something with this, where the Frontier actually gets involved in something. It'll probably get sucked through a wormhole and end up on the other side of the galaxy. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see. And at least they do have an SDF.
Yeah, that's incredibly helpful. But that's also one of the things that I didn't like as much was that there is this huge distance gap between they when they go fight that enemy ship, it's who knows how far away.
Yeah.
So there's not this imminent. I mean, there is imminent danger, but it wasn't as effective as it was in the original Macross, where it's like, yes, your life is being inconvenienced right now.
Well, that was one of the wonderful things about original Macross. It all happened in the solar system, and the fleet is here. We're going to get wiped out in 5 minutes if we don't do something, or at least that was the understanding until folks understood about proto-culture. But it's definitely more of this distant threat that's slowly hammering away, and I hope they do something with it. We're certainly getting some hints that the Vajra are more than simply mindless bugs. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with that.
AKA Sheryl's assistant.
Yes. He was an innovator, clearly. I also just have to applaud them for the fact that every SDF captain ever not only wears that goofy outfit, he also has a beard, and you can only see one eye at any given time.
And the scar on his face.
We've seen like 2 or 3 of them now, and they all look, they all have that exact same thing. They're all crewed by bridge bunnies. It's hilarious. The one guy is gay. Come on. It's funny. Although I will again give them credit for the fact that when they do the SDF transformation sequence, just his expression throughout the whole thing of that, it's like, yes.
I just like how he screams everything.
It turns very 70s. It's very odd. But at the same time, it's a giant transformable SDF with this massive cannon. It's like that. Yeah, that is rather awesome. So we get some nice quasi-space opera stuff, and Luca gets rescued, of course. And then we get the introduction of our first major villain, who is Brera Stern, who is apparently, I don't know, the fairly typical angsty villain pilot guy, and Bob Dylan, as you mentioned.
Yeah, he'll probably, he may turn good. I don't know.
He may. It's hard to tell. I mean, he has the music. Well, and it should be mentioned at this point that he plays and he plays on his harmonica the song that what's her name sings. So clearly there's something going on with some sort of deculture thing. Whether that means he's going to turn, what he's going to have to, I mean, I suspect he's going to become the spy. You know, here we go. He's going to be ordered to infiltrate them, so he'll become a student at the Mahoshi Academy.
Much like every other character in the show. Actually, yeah, that's what I was thinking, because, well, he already is that, sort of.
Spy? Yeah.
An infiltrator in terms of...
that's true.
In 6 and 7, when they're fighting the thing, he's... Mm-hmm. Or no, wait, that's not that. When he goes to fight, blow up the nest.
Yeah, well, and also he's on the frontier in like episodes 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
So clearly, speaking of which, okay, so episode 8 we get our goofy comedy episode.
Yes.
AKA the moment when I stopped watching My Hime was when they had the panties episode in like episode 4. At least they went to episode 8 on this one, but. It was just very odd to see, and it was a straight comedy episode. I enjoyed it partly because at least they pushed all their comedy into one episode, gave us a comedy episode, and then moved away. So that was nice, but it also was kind of jarring.
Yeah, and also because it's in a high school.
Yeah,
completely harkens me back to Gyas.
Okay.
Because they do the exact same thing where they have one really goofy episode every so many episodes.
Gotcha.
And, well, I think it's only one per season, actually.
Okay.
But anyway, they did something very close to what this felt like, and the whole high school vibe, and oh my gosh, and stuff like that. But it was, I don't know. And Sheryl running around without underwear, and the fact that they didn't flash any of that was sort of surprising.
Yes, I was impressed with their restraint.
Yes, just knowing was enough, clearly.
And just all the male students' reactions was rather funny.
Yes. Oh, and I did want to go back to the bad guy.
Yeah.
I think he's what's her name's brother.
Sheryl? Oh.
The green-headed.
Oh yeah, because she talks about her brother. Yes.
She calls out brother when he intervenes when the thing comes in episode 9 or 10.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And the reason that I think that he's Bob Dylan is because in episode 9 he's shown with a harmonica rack that rack is only associated with Woody Guthrie and Bob Dylan, or is usually. Yeah. I mean, Woody Guthrie was the original person who actually used the rack, so. That song is not in any language that anybody knows, apparently.
Right.
So either he's been keeping tabs on Ranka, or somehow it's coming out of his memory, because it looks like he's doing something for Cheryl's assistant for his memory.
Well, I suspect it has something to do with the Vajra. I suspect it's some ancient song. I think it goes back to the whole original Macross thing of there being some protean music culture that they're going to tap into at some point.
Got it.
I don't know. I mean, and they also did that sort of in 7, so who knows. And again, it was nice seeing seeing the show push forward in some different way. I mean, this could have been a much more lighthearted, much more, not just sort of bouncy, happy show, but it could have been a lot lighter than it is, and it's nice seeing some actual backstory.
Yeah, there are times when I'm not very happy